sharing my screen. All right. So let me drop this down for 1 second and move it out the way. All right. So today we are going to be understanding the ABC points grid. Now, also, we're going to discuss what is the ABC points grid, what are designations, who is eligible, why get a designation, how to organize each section, how to submit for each designation. And I'm going to give you a few examples of the correct way to submit and a few examples of the incorrect way to submit. Or I'm not going to say to submit, but the incorrect way that people submit it to us. All right. So, first of all, what is the ABC points grid? It's a framework, it's a professional framework. It is used to measure your growth and your development. During this presentation, you're going to hear me say wedding professionals. And when I talk about wedding professionals, I'm talking about wedding planners and I'm talking about wedding vendors. So, the ABC Points Grid is a professional framework used to measure the growth and development of wedding professionals. And we use this with ABC. We use this with members who are ABC members. Why do you need the points grid? Number one, the main reason is to keep track of your successes as you earn your designations. Now, I'm going to talk about a little bit about your full designation pathway. And I call it a pathway because you're moving on a path from certified to professional, accredited, and then one day master. So whether you are looking for a master wedding planner, wanting to become a master wedding planner or a master wedding vendor, we follow a pathway to get there. Now, who is eligible? Who is eligible for all of this? All members of ABC are eligible. One thing you need to know, designations are progressive. You don't ever start over. Once you start with zero, you continue to move on, and the points are cumulative. They're carried forward to each designation. Points counted at any level can only be used one time on your points grid. And I'm going to show you an example of that a little later on in this presentation. A few things that I want you to know. We're going to break down each of the designations and talk about how many points you need for each one. So first, when you start out as an ABC member, you start out as a registered member. And when you start out as a registered member, you start off with 0 points. Well, once you start moving up and you're working towards your certified designation, you are moving and you have to collect 25 points at least. So to become a certified wedding professional with ABC, you have to get between 25 and 49 points. As I'm going through this, I want you to also look at the badges on the left side of the screen. We have certified wedding planner and certified wedding vendor. As you move up and you earn your first designation, these badges are available on the ABC website for you to download and to use and to post on your social media, letting people know that you are a CWP or CWV. Also, put it in your email response where you put down what your name is and your put it down there so that every time you send something off, everyone knows that you're a certified wedding planner and so on. Now, the next step, once you become a certified wedding planner, you can start working on becoming a professional wedding vendor or professional wedding planner. Now, in order to get the professional designation, After you have to get at least 50 points. You can get between 50 and 74 points. And I know some of you are thinking right now, how do I get these points? And we're going to go over that. But right now, we're talking about how many points that you need. And you look to the left of the screen, there are those badges once again for professional wedding planner and professional wedding vendor. The next designation up is accredited. You're going to move from professional to accredited. And in order to get there, you have to have at least 75 points. You can get between 75 and 124 points. Now, not only are you adding up and keeping track of your points, with becoming an accredited wedding professional with ABC, there are a few more things that you have to do, such as writing an essay and actually applying to become or filling out an application for the accredited designation. Then once you do that, you will start meeting with Shelby. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. The top designation is master. Now, you are going to have to get at least 125 points. So you can get 125 and above points. It could be more than 125. But remember, it is cumulative. That means you're collecting points from the start of your journey. When you start off as a registered wedding planner, move to certified and on up. So it's cumulative. You don't have to restart or start over again. So once you get your points in one designation and you build on it, you'll get up to 125 points, and that's where you can apply to become a master wedding planner or a master wedding vendor. Now, you ask yourself, why earn a designation? Number one, you want to be recognized as the expert in this industry. You want people to everything that you're learning, you want to share it with your clients and your fellow professionals. Trustworthiness. Now, I think about when I go into the doctor's office and I look where I see the doctor's name. He has letters behind his name. He has that MD. When we see those letters behind names, we tend to trust those people. You, as a wedding professional, you want to be trusted by your clients and they respect you because they're going to know that number one, having those letters means that you are setting yourself apart from the competition. You are continuing your education, meaning when you continue your education, you are updating and you're keeping up with the latest trends and skills. Plus, once you start moving up and you start accomplishing different things in this wedding industry, it should be personal satisfaction. Not only that, it builds your confidence. One thing about ABC, ABC is not just a national association, it is a international. So the ABC brand is recognized globally. The different designations are recognized globally. When people see your name and see those designations behind it, they know that it is the ABC brand. Look, the next thing is having quality assurance. Clients are going to feel more confident. They're going to feel more confident in the services provided by someone with a professional designation. Remember, we talked about the doctor before. Even lawyers have a letters behind their name, ESQ, that lets you know that they are professionals. And more than anything, it showcases your commitment to excellence. Let's get into the points grid. When you look at the ABC points grid, it is divided into 5 sections: education and professional development, professional industry experience, leadership and industry involvement, professional industry contributions, and related activities, and philanthropic and volunteer work. And we're going to talk a little bit about each of these in just a few moments. So the next thing I want to do is I want to share with you where you can find the ABC points grid. So we're going to go to our ABC website, and let me move this box. You're going to have to sign in order to get there. So you sign in on the members only into your profile. Once you get there, you scroll down 1, 2, 3 rows, and you have the point system. You click on the point system, it opens up. You scroll down past the triangle, and the triangle here has all of our designations here. Register starting from the bottom, so you're working from the bottom and building up. Then you have 2 boxes here. This first one here is the certified and professional points grid. This is the one that you want to pick. And then later on, after you go through this professional points grid, we have the destination wedding planner one as well. But you have to work on this first in order. You have to earn your certified wedding planner or certified wedding vendor designation first before you start looking at this one. So let's click on this and open it up. And I'm going to make this full screen for you. Okay. Now, one thing about the points grid, it is 11 pages long. The first 2 pages are directions and information that you need to know. So that's page 1 and page 2. When you we have decide, oh, we changed the points grid, and now we divided the points grid up so that you have you have 2 different ones. You have one for certified, and you have certified and professional, and the other one, once you move up, we have one for accredited and master. 2 reasons. Number one, so you can concentrate on one section at a time, and number 2, it gives you more room. So before I talked about the points, we have the points listed up here for you for the point assignment with 25 to 49 points. For certified professional, we have 50 to 74 points. For professional wedding planner, professional wedding vendor. So let's go and let's take a look at this section right here, this top line. Earlier, I told you that the points grid had 5 sections. At the top of each section right here, as you see, this is where you're going to find the names of each section. Next, you have the points allowed. So the points for each of the items that are on the points grid. Here are the number of points you get. Next to it, what we're going to concentrate mostly on today is the certified section. You have the certified and you have the professional. So today we're going to concentrate right here on this yellow section. Most of you are beginning your journey to becoming a certified wedding professional. So everything that you're going to do, you're going to put your points all the way down through all 5 sections in this on the yellow block or the yellow column. If you look at it has a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 30. Each section has a minimum and maximum. And what this means that across the board for certified professional on up, when you submit it, and once you get to that top level, you need a minimum of 10 points in this section. Now, for this row right here, you have a maximum of 30, meaning for this section right here, and you're going to see how it changes when you go to the next section. You can't, we wouldn't want you to get a maximum of 30 points in this section, because what will happen is you will be heavy in one section. And the idea is to have you to spread your points throughout the entire points grid. Let's take a look at a few things. All right, I'm going to scroll to page two. I mean, this is page three. And so we're going to go to page four. And page four is still education, professional development. Oh, I went too far. Okay, there we go. All right. So these are some things that you can, if you look here, I'm gonna just point out a few things that you can start doing now. As you can use this one, which is the if you have an associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's, or doctorate degree, each one of them has different points. If you're attending the webinars, um, that we have on Wednesdays. Now we give points for the educational webinars and not points for the travel webinars. So the ones that you attend that Shelby hosts, those ABC webinars, you get zero point 0.5 points per webinar. If you are attending a state meeting, you get 2 points per seminar based on the number of hours. And your state director should give you a certificate or something, because for each of these things that you put on the points grid, you have to show proof of it, whether it is a certificate, whether it is a letter or something. But for each one, you need to show proof. Now I'll go to the next section, which is professional industry experience. So let's say that this one right here talks about how long you have been in the industry. And you think about, how can I show proof? Well, you can show your 1099, what you used to do your taxes with, or this is something else. You can show your bank account. Now, we don't need to know how much is in there. It's just we're looking at the dates. When you started your bank account up until now, that tells us how many years you've had that bank account. And for instance, you get one per year, so 1 point per year. Now, for the everything else, we only look back 4 years. So as we get down, if you notice the world of weddings here, we have 6 points per year. So if you're attending the World of Weddings this year, you're going to get 6 points for that. If you attended the World of Weddings last year, you received a certificate and there were points up there. So you have received 6 points for that. If you attend any other seminars or webinars that are part of the industry and they're business related, depending on how many hours you receive points for those. Now, I said before, we only look back 4 years. So if you attended a webinar back in 2015, not only have things changed since then, and we're doing business differently, but that's beyond the past 4 years. So we're only looking back 4 years from 2026. I'm going to move on to the next section, which is still part of the professional industry experience. Now, I want to talk about these three things right here. I get asked a lot of time, what is the difference? So let me explain the difference between the three. This one right here is if you planned it, you are the lead planner. You coordinate it, you planned it from the beginning. It is more of your full service weddings. How do you show proof of this? You can either do your contract, send your contract in, or if you have a program or something that says that your company and you were the lead planner up there. This section is mostly for wedding vendors, or if you did a wedding that was day of or month of coordination. So this is where you would put your points here for that one. And this, if you assisted someone, you were interning or you were apprentice for the day, then this is where you will put your points here. So you get one per wedding or event. And then where it says total here, you total your points. I want to also point this out while I'm here. This section right here, This is where I write my information in that I need to put here and sign off and everything. So this right here, where it says ABC, validated points for education, this is where what I fill out. So you don't have to put anything there. Moving on to page 7, which is leadership and industry involvement. Now, you get 2 points per year for being an ABC membership. For this one, your certificate is in on the actual in your profile, but I can go back and look that you are an ABC member. So for this one, I always tell people it is okay. I can go back in the system and count to see how many years you have been an ABC member. And you get points for being an ambassador. That is a local networking group coordinator or director. So to host meetings, if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, that is different from my state director. This is the ambassador where you become a what do you call it? Knowledgeable, or in your area where you live, you're sharing your industry knowledge and everything, and you're hosting meetings. So you get 1 point per year for that one. If you are a mentor in ABC's mentorship program, these are things that you can sign up for. We're always looking for mentors. And I am going to go down a little bit further to the next one. If you got an industry award for leadership and the industry award is could be with another group or something, or you get 1 point per award. So there are lots of things that you can do within ABC and also outside of ABC. If you are not sure about an item, please do reach out and we'll look at it and see where it fits on the points grid. Let's take a look at the professional industry contributions. Now, this right here, publishing an article, being featured in a or featuring your wedding in a national publication. ABC has Wedding Planner Magazine. We're always looking for people to send in their weddings so that we can uh, put it in the magazine and publish it. You get a point for that. We're also looking for people to write articles. If you have something that you want to talk about that has to do with the wedding industry, please do reach out to us. If you want to write something and not sure what you want to write about, if you want to listen to some of our ideas and you want to pick up that task and write an article, reach out to us. Now, I want you to look at this, being an expert guest on a wedding event on a TV or radio or podcast. ABC now has a podcast. So you can reach out to us and say you want to be on a podcast. If you're a speaker at the ABC annual conference, you earn points. If you are a speaker for like Shelby, when does her Wedding Wednesday webinars, she needs speakers. So if there's a topic, reach out to us and I'll connect you with Shelby. And then you can talk over the topic you would like to present. If you co-authored a book, and it has to be something that has to do with the wedding industry that we're in, not just writing any kind of book, but it has to do with the industry. I'm going to move on to the next section, which is more being a guest speaker at an elementary school or middle school. Now, many of you, and I have a couple upcoming, participate in Career Day at the schools. You earn 0.5 of a point for that. You just need a letter from the person that is putting it together, just to say that you not only attended, but you spoke at the school. So that's a way for you to earn. Reach out to the elementary schools or the high schools. They're always looking for professionals. The next section, which is the fifth section, which is our volunteer section. Many of you don't realize how much you volunteer. You volunteer for different community events, your church, I don't know about you, but I volunteer, sometimes get voluntold to work with my son's football team. So um, I got the coach to actually write a letter for me. Says I do all the planning for them, the banquets and the fundraisers and the meals, everything. I get a point per project that I work on. Being a volunteer at the World of Weddings. Some of you volunteered with me last year, and well, I was a volunteer with us last year, and we're looking for volunteers this year that are going to the World of Weddings. So you earn points for that as well. So I want to show you one that is filled out. Okay, let me try to find. All right, I think this is the one that is filled out. No, I'm sorry, you all the controls are hidden. Okay, there we go. All right, so Shelby Council. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Shelby Council turned in her points grid to me. She filled out the top section where it's her name, email address, the date, phone number, and she also circled what it was she was applying for. Shelby Council. Oh, let me go back to the top one. Okay. Shelby Council, same thing, filled out the entire top part. And she over here, if you notice, these are different courses that are on the ABC website that you can take. So Shelby Council took the fashion show production and she got 5 points. So Shelby Council, she's going for certified wedding planner. She put her 5 points right here. Let's move to the next page. Now, Shelby Council, and this is under the education and professional development. She put 4 points here. So Shelby Council has a bachelor's degree. She put 4 points here. Shelby Council attended a meeting. She turned in her certificate for attending the state meeting. She received 2 points. Those webinars that we have on Wednesday, Shelby Council attended. If you see, they're 0.5 points. So Shelby attended based on this 3 webinars. So she turned in her 3 webinar certificates. And adding this section up, this is the first section, education, professional development. Shelby, 5 points, plus 4 points, plus two, plus 1.5 points. For this section, Shelby Council has 12.5 points. And you notice here, Shelby filled out her name and her email. And she left this so that I could fill out. Let's go to our next section, professional industry experience. Shelby turned in that she had one, that she had been in business for 1 year. Shelby attended the World of Weddings last year down in Louisiana, and she got 6 points. She turned in her certificate for that. Shelby Council also went to Cater Source, so another conference. And going to Cater Source, she earned 1 point for that conference. Shelby turned in that she had done one wedding. She turned in her contract, which showed that she was the lead planner and showed the date. So Shelby, for this section right here, 1 plus 6 plus 1 plus 1 earned 9 points. Shelby has been a member. We get 2 points per year. So a member of ABC for 3 years. So she put 6 here because she had 2 points per year. Shelby put 6 points here because she didn't get anything else in this section. And she filled out her member name and her email address. Let's go to professional industry contributions. Okay, Shelby doesn't have anything here or here. So Shelby simply put in 0 here. And let's go to the last section, your volunteer work. Okay, Shelby doesn't have anything here, so she simply put 0 here. So Shelby is heavy in one section here on education. So there are other things that she can do. The idea is that by the time you make it up to accredited and master, that you have something in every section. So it's okay if you start out as a certified and you have 0 in some section, you will get them as you go along. So let's just review real quick how to fill out your points grid. First of all, you will need to complete it fully. Fill out your personal information on each page that is required. You will also need to tally your totals and fill in your name and email under each section of the grid where it is recorded. The only thing on the points grid will be points. You may neatly print or use a PDF editor and type in your information. Now, if you're going to print, make sure everything fits on the lines. And you're going to see some other ones that Shelby Council did. And I had to work with Shelby to get it together. But when you turn it in also, and I'm going to talk about how to turn it, I want you to submit all the pages in order, 1 through 11. Well, you can submit the 3rd through 11. So if you take off the instructions at the top, we are fine with that. But you're going to submit everything because we have to sign off on every page where it tells us to. And so if you only did one section, pages 3, 4, and you submit, by the time you move to another designation, you don't have all the signatures that you need. Earlier, I said something about using points only one time. Looking at this right here, once you use points, she has a bachelor's degree with 4 points, you can't use it again. So once you use points, you can't use it again. Now, let's talk about who does what. With ABC, I certify the certified professionals and the professional designation. And my email address is members@abcweddingplanners.com. And Shelby certifies the accredited and the master's designation. And Shelby, once you get and you've done the certified professional, you will move on to Shelby. Shelby's email address is education@abcweddingplanners.com. Now, let's talk about how you submit to me. Now, that when Shelby is turning in her work, for me, it is very simple. Once I go through and look to see how many points you have, and make sure that you have 25 points and all of your documentation uh, um, measures up, you will need to submit it. You can do simply send me an email with everything, or you can drop it in a Google file and send the entire thing. However, I do need it to be labeled. Shelby, I forgot to say this earlier, but when we calculated all of Shelby's points, she got 27.5 points. So she was ready to submit her work. The first thing Shelby did was put her points grid in here, and the points grid needs to be labeled, points grid and your name. These 3 things are her proof. She has a wedding contract here. She has the apprenticeship letter, and she has a 1099 form. So you will put all of your documentation in one email to me. And when you send it to me, it is after you have finished, after you have gotten all of your points. So do not send it, or I don't want it sent if you piecemeal it, piece by piece. I want one clear email. You can also, other members drop it all in one Google link, and they send me the link, and I can go in and go through it and download what I need to and sign off on it and send it back to you. So this is how for certified and for professional, you will submit your information to me. Once you get to accredited, you have to either do it in a notebook format or digital format. That is a whole different process for accredited and master. So, but for now, simply sending it after you have documented everything in this format or a Google Drive link is perfectly fine. Now, let's talk about not. All right. Let's talk about Shelby Council was a complete mess when she first started submitting. And so Shelby, we had to work with Shelby, and I had to get Shelby all the way together. So I'm gonna talk about each one. When Shelby submitted, um, she took a picture of it to send to me. Um, I had to make this lighter and darker in some areas so that I could try to get a place to sign, and then realize that Shelby, there was no place to sign off. Now, this is the old points grid. She did this beforehand, but there was nowhere for me to sign because she only took a picture of it. So what we're asking you to do, if you take a picture of it, it needs to look as if it is a document and not a picture. Um, Another thing, Shelby submitted it laying on top of her computer. There shouldn't be any kind of background. It should only be the document. And it's got to be all the pages in the correct order so that we are able to sign off on everything. And honestly, the best way to do it is to submit it as a PDF to me, if you can scan it in. We have received points grids that aren't straight, they are sideways and turn every which way. Well, submitting it like this, there is absolutely no way that we will be able to sign off or even see all of the information that we need to. And believe it or not, yes, things have been submitted in this form to us. All right. If you're going to write in pencil, or I mean, if you're going to write in print or something, you need to make sure it is very as neat as possible. Not only is it neat, but it fits on the line, because I'm a strong believer in the way you do anything is the way that you do all things. So if someone submitted something like this to me, and I'm going to think, well, is this how they do their clients? Is this what they turn into their clients? Or do they actually take the time to go through and do it neatly? Or either use a PDF editor and actually go up there and add in and type it all in. Now, let's talk about tips for success. This is what I want you to do. I want you to visualize the grid. And what I want you to do is I want you to break the entire points grid up into actually three categories or three sections. I want you to think about education that you're going to get. I want you to think about the experiences, and I want you to think about your contribution. And I want you to look at the whole points grid. I want you to, when you submit, starting out, you will probably not have a lot of these things, but going forward, you will have just about everything up there. Now, I want you to mix the categories up strategically. I want you to make a plan. If there's something that you haven't done yet, make it something that you're going to do. Everything that you do, document everything. If you attend a webinar or you attend a meeting that is industry related, document it. You can document it by having the host provide you a letter or keeping up with the certificate. Submit regularly. Once you start and you become a certified wedding professional, then start working on your professional designation so that when you're ready, you can submit again. Stay engaged with ABC. Attend the meetings. Come to the WOW conference. Um, go to the webinars. Take the classes and the courses. A common mistake that people make, they don't track their points. So they get to a certain point and then they they're trying to figure out what is it that I'm supposed to put up here, and they forget a lot of things that they've done. They ignore the contribution category, the things that they've done, the volunteer work and everything, and they underestimate the value of their experiences that they've had. So these are some common mistakes. So from this point, I want you to start thinking how valuable you are as a wedding professional, and you're going to start tracking your points. Now, let's talk about your full designation pathway. I'm going to actually break it down by each designation. When you're moving up to certified, this is your entry, this is your first milestone. It is going to be education heavy. You're going to start taking courses because once you take the ABC Wedding Planning Certification course, you've taken that. Once you start attending the weekly webinars, this is where you're going to get a lot of your points from. By the time you move up to your building and become and working towards the professional designation, you want a blend of experiences and a blend of education. You're going to have weddings up there. I know some people just starting out, they don't have as many weddings, but once you move up to the professional um, professional wedding planner or wedding vendor, you should have more weddings that you're submitting. You should have increased credibility. That means that your clients are writing thank yous and they're doing reviews on you. Once you get to the accredited section, you want to start thinking about more leadership things, more things that'll give you visibility, like speaking on webinars, speaking at conference, speaking at your state meetings. You want to start working towards trying to publish your weddings and publish articles and even writing a book. You want to become an authority in the wedding industry. So by the time you get to accredited, this is where you are. And then our highest distinction, being a master wedding professional. Once you apply to do this, you're going to be reviewed by your peers. By this time, you have elite credibility because you spent all this time starting from register, moving to certified, professional, accredited. Now you're working towards the master. So you have been tracking your points and you've been building your business. Now, my final thoughts. Number one, consistency wins. Always try to do something. If you can't do it daily, do something weekly. The master level is achievable. You earn points by taking part in the webinars, meetings, the World Awareness Conference that is hosted by ABC. We create these things for you to be able to use and gain points with. Take one of the courses offered by ABC. Plan your point roadmap. Know where you're going. Look at the points grid, pick out a few things that you want to work on. Remember, your designation equals your brand. Now, again, Shelby works with accredited and master professionals, getting them to those designations. And I work with the certified and the professional. Currently, I'm working towards my accredited. Shelby hosts a group called Pathways that she only takes 10 people at a time that works for 6 months to get there to work towards their first level in accreditation. These are our email addresses. If you still have questions, not sure about where something fits in, you can either email me at members@abcweddingplanners.com or simply pick up the phone and call. We can set an appointment where we sit down and look at what you've done or where you need to go. And give me a call at 336-690-5510. Now I am going to stop this for a second and I am going to, as soon as I find my mouse, stop the share. And I guess, Veronica, were you monitoring the chat as we were going through? Kind of,
Yes,
sort
and there are a lot of great questions.
of. We're going to try to answer as much as we can. Okay. All right.
Yeah, now I did answer some, but some I
Okay.
thought we should just go ahead and put out there.
Okay.
What
Now,
if you perform weddings as an officiant?
you are a wedding vendor. So, and yes, you still have contracts. You're still planning with that couple. So yes, I think that is the first one up. It's above the on the points grid. It is the one that says not the lead planner because that's the wedding plan, but the one above that one that you will put your points in. So yes, you do get points for that.
Can I add to
Awesome.
that?
Say one more time.
So just to add to that question, so would that still like accumulate? Because you have two different
Um,
badges that you get. You get the professional or the uh, certified wedding planner, and then you get certified wedding vendor. But like for me, if I offer both officiant and planning, how would that work in that case?
I'm going to tell you pick a path. Okay. You're
Okay.
going to either use your wedding vendor or you're going to follow the pathway for certified. Can you go back and start over and start the other one? Absolutely.
Hmm.
But don't go back and forth. Pick one path. So if you're going to go through and all the designations as a wedding planner, do that first. And if you want to go back and
Okay.
do it as a wedding vendor, you can.
Okay. Okay. So it is two separate.
It is two separate paths.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to work on, like I said, separating the wedding vendor eventually down the line. That is on the to-do list, not anytime. So, but we are working at it. We're working on a couple of things.
Awesome. And the next question is, do you receive points if you register for a webinar but listen to the replay?
No. And let me tell you why. Unfortunately, you have to be in attendance to get the points. If you listen to the replay, we won't have any way of tracking to see if you actually did and you were actually paying attention to being a part of it. So yeah, we have you have to be in attendance to get those points.
Awesome. And for the membership points,
Hmm.
is that only counted within the past 4 years, or is that counted cumulative of your membership with ABC?
Well, this is the thing. I'm going to say that I actually work with people on that because there are some people that have waited to get started. They have been members of ABC since 2012, and now they're wanting to move up. So what we'll do, that is probably one of the ones, and the one that about how long years you've been in business that we actually look past 4 years with. But the other things, such as the weddings, we only look back 4 years, such as the classes that you've taken and everything. And with the ABC membership, we can actually go back and look and see how long you've been a member. So with that's one of the ones we kind of work with you on.
Awesome. And then Kara asked, well, she looked at the course list and
Okay.
each was around $1,000. Can that be paid in each section? So, Kara, I Do you mind if I take that one?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You you definitely don't have to take the courses unless it's something that you really want to learn. You'll earn points, a lot of it through life's experience and just running your business. So I don't want you wasting all that money, on something that you don't want, or are interested in. What we do here at ABC, it is not a pay for play, so you're not going to pay to get to master. You're going to earn it. And the reason why we do the 5 sections is to make sure that you are a very well-rounded professional, person and business. So that's what those are. But by all means, if there's something that you like and that you want to, um, go for, then do it. Definitely do it. But just keep in mind that it's not mandatory that you do each and every thing on the grid.
And the thing about it too, I was checking out the chat, just going through it. Also, you want to spread your points out all the way across. When I say all the way across, I'm talking about from certified, that wedding, that designation, all the way up to, you want a little bit of something in every section. Okay. So let's see. What's the next question, Veronica? Anything?
Actually, that is it. I think everything else was answered.
Answer, yes.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you the quickest way or the easiest way to get points is to get involved. Get involved with ABC. When I say get involved, that is attending the webinars, that is coming to the ABC conference. That is stepping up to be an ambassador to earn points. And I see some of my ambassadors up here, and some say we're working the ambassadors to one day, some of them to become eventually state directors if there's a need in their state. Some We have states that do have state directors. They still get points. They host meetings and everything. If you want to host a meeting or become an ambassador under that state director, then you'll work together as a team. But yes, so we're looking, that is the leadership part. The leadership part, in order to get points in leadership, you have to lead. Okay. You have to get out there. You have to not be afraid. If there is an idea that you're thinking of, you just need to bounce off someone, reach out to us at the home office. Well, I'll sit there and listen to you, and we'll try to see, okay, where does it fit in ABC and how can we help you? That's what we're here. We want to see you grow. But in order to grow, you got to get up and you got to do something. So you have a whole points grid. It is really use. I said it was a framework. The work is already there. Pick something from each section and let it be your goal. Okay. So just take a look at it. This is the other thing that I do. Print it off. Download it, print it off. On that one, write on it. Write down some things or ideas or whatever. Write down and make a list. Now, don't turn that one into me. That's your scrap copy. That's your copy to make a mess of. Okay. But you already have that down. Calculate, put your points uh, down there. Um, and that's how you count. So then when you go to do the one to turn in to me, you've already had it. Turn on the back of that sheet. If you saw mine is things written all over it. Because when I have an idea and I say, oh, let me try this. This is what I'm going to do. This will apply for this. If you're not sure if the idea that you're thinking of will work or not, again, reach out to us. And this is the other thing that I forgot to say during the presentation. Once you turn in the points grid and you get your points for becoming a certified wedding planner, you're going to save that one that has my signatures on it, because that's the same one that you're going to turn in again and put your points down for professional. Okay. So that you put your points down and then I sign off on your professional. And then once you become a professional um, wedding planner or professional wedding vendor, when it's time for you to become accredited, that sheet actually goes to Shelby and she checks back to make sure that you have the points and to make sure that my signatures are up there and she knows my signatures now. So she knows what I put down, so she knows it and she looks at it. And so then that goes towards your accredited points that you have completed. Some people, I will say this, we since 2023, when Veronica, we switched up everything and we started 2023. There are some people that are reaching out to me that never received their points grid. Reach out to me at home office and let me go through and see what I can find so we can start from there. Don't let that be something that holds you back. Oh, you know what? I was a certified wedding planner prior to that, but I don't have my points grid. That is what I'm here for, is to go back and help you solve that problem. Do we have anything else, Veronica? Are we good?
Um, there
Oh,
is one more question. So it says, my state does not have a state manager, director, sorry. How can we get the monthly classes with no leader?
okay. So I'm gonna answer that two ways. First thing, start with where you are. Make sure you attend the webinars that ABC is hosting. Do everything else. Second thing, Samantha, you want to be an ambassador? Because what it is you can start off by being the leader and being the one there. Yes, our idea is as soon as we can and when we can, the idea is to have leadership in every state. So we are growing, but we have to get there. So you can step up and I can tell you how, and you can become first the ambassador in that area to help it grow so that you will start having meetings and stuff. We have I'm gonna talk about them for a second. We have one state that there are two ambassadors there and they are rocking out right now. Those two ambassadors, they're working together as a team and they're doing something on the left side of the state and something on the right side of the state, and that's what they're doing. So if like I said, if you want to start that, we can sit down, have a meeting, and I can tell you how. But yes, the idea is to grow in every place. But until we get there and until we build there, this is where we are.
Awesome.
Uh,
You got a lot of thank yous, and
oh,
Tiana's working on her grid right now.
you better, Tiana. Yes. But yes, absolutely. I want you to use me as a resource. That's what we are doing. My hopes one day is to grow. So I'm going to help you grow to where I am, and then we're going to grow together and we're going to continue going. That is how ABC is going to be known in the industry. Okay. And you all have my number, you have my email address. Reach out to me. All right. If there is, we've kept you. It is now looking at the time, 8 o'clock. Thank you for hanging in here with us and everything. And I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you on this call within the next, I'm gonna give you about 2 months. And then I'm gonna start reaching out to you to see. I want you to see that you've taken your first step. That's what I'm asking you to do, to take your first step. All right.
Awesome.
All right, everybody.
Have a
You
good
have
evening.
a good evening and we'll see
Thank
you soon.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies.